Now it's time for the real games. I was like, none of this. Who comes in? I was like, we don't know. No, 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 no. Now it's time for the big boys. I was like, we eliminated the frauds. Now we over here trying to get to the main competition. NFL weekend, baby. That's what I'm talking about. So, listen. I think we got a good slate of games. And hopefully the competitive. Because I was like, last week could have been also a good, you know, thing of games, but a lot of them games were done before we even got to halftime, boy. So hopefully these at least let us don't try to take a nap. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Texas Ravens. Now I was like, I don't know where to go with this because on one hand I'm like I like my boy cjstroud, but I also like Lamar at the same time. But I was like, I like D'Amico, but I like the Ravens. And I guess I like the Texans through proxy of those as well too. So that's why I was like, on one hand, I was like, man, I want to see this Stroud to see how far he can this whole rookie thing of everybody can go. But on the other hand, I'm like, I also need Lamar to go because if not, he gonna get talked about just the same way that everybody else gonna get talked about. Dak, Hurts. I mean, not to that extent because if he plays well, but he'll get talked about because he got all that money this past year, and they'll be like, if he can't even, he's the MVP, he already knocked out, all that other stuff. But even with that, I'm gonna still go with the Ravens just because I feel like their defense is more optimistic than not optimistic, opportunistic than the Texans. I think I was like, while don't get me wrong, I do think the Texas defense is really good to try to contain Lamar. I don't know if they have enough bodies to stop every one of their receiving threats. Whereas the Ravens have a lot more people to stop what the Texans are doing. McQueen, uh, uh, Roquan. Like that's just a linebacker. I was like they got like a good plethora of people that can rush the passer or whatever. And CJ's not. He can run, but he doesn't. He's not going to do that. But you're not going to get the same blown covers as Cleveland. They also got more DBs at their disposal to sure up all that type of thing. Even if to me, even if the offense for Lamar is going to be a little bit slow, which I don't think so. I mean, I do think it's gonna be slow to start out just because they ain't playing all that other kind of stuff. Knock off a little bit of rough. But I believe in them because they can run the ball at least to get there until they get their passing going. Um, but I think Lamar being the passing threat and running threat will give them a lot more. Now, granted, I was like defensive head coach that he is. I feel like we'll have a game plan to try to contain him. But that's where but do you have enough on the back end to stop? To stop Baltimore. Because Cleveland only got Coop and they really only got Njoku. And so that's easier stopping than Flowers, Aguilar, Bateman, Odell, Likely. I was like, Justice Hill. I was like, I just think they have too many weapons on offense. I think they have too many weapons on defense to basically stop CJ Stroud. I do think that CJ Stroud will put up a decent game. I don't think it's going to be one of them games where the rookie looks like a rookie. But I think the Ravens is going to be overwhelming in this game. Too much for them in order to overcome. I think CJ Stroud stops this thing. If not, I mean, that'd be a cool story as well. But I was like, I think maybe if they also had Tank Dell in here on CJ Stroud, I think and Noah Brown. I know that Tank Dell was killing it earlier, but I know Noah Brown's not necessarily where our offense is going to be locked out. But I'm like, he was an actual cog to their offense as well. Robert Wood just came back. Nico been killing it, but I just think that they don't have I don't know they have enough weapons for this defense here. And so I think they'll keep it low scoring. I think the Ravens pretty much. Probably, I feel like pretty much after maybe the midway second, I would say it's after the second half they just started boat racing at that point. Um, you know, but yeah, going to take the Ravens here. I was like, then the late night game, Green Bay Packers and 49ers. I'm picking up an upset. I was like, I think it's gonna be. I do think it's going to be a close, rough, grinding out game. And I know, and that's like if you think, I was like, from the eyes perspective, you can say the Packers are more of a finesse team because they're kind of like, they like to pass the ball and they get all fancy with it. Jordan Love off his back foot, but they also are willing to run the ball. I know they didn't have A.J. Dillon last week. I don't know if he's going to be here, and it's not that I don't really think he's a great runner, but I do think when you're trying to run the ball, him and Jones is a good combination because Aaron Jones is a tough running back, and he's willing to hit you. I mean, he's willing to square up with you. But if you already got him and he got the speed to sort of pull away, granted, the 49 defense a little different. But A.J. Dillon coming in and this big behemoth coming through, that ain't gonna work either. So that's why I think that they could I think if the Packers defense play as good or better as they did against Dallas, to me that would give them a chance. Because as we've seen with Brock Purdy, it's like, yes, they got the weapons there. That's why I don't think it's going to be never like they're gonna get them or nothing like that. But I do think that if you start putting Brock like getting a couple interceptions, flustering him, getting him down early, and yes, those are recipes to sort of get any quarterback. But I think with him in particular, it puts a desperation mode. All that stuff where they're just like, like now they're gonna have to pass it. But I do think that they do have the weapons. But to overcome the Packers defense, because it's even though they play good against the Cowboys, it's like how much was the Packers defense playing that well, and how much was the Cowboys offense just that crappy? That's a hard one. But I do think that Brock Purdy is going to end up costing them the game, but I think that they'll be in it for a good while. Cause even a couple of them, I was like, even a couple of their losses, they've been pretty close. So it's not like they get really like drugged through, except for when they place the Ravens. But they're not playing the Ravens. They're not playing the team that well in this. But I do think that Jordan Love and that offense is just going to really spread them out and take advantage of. Because I was like, because they got the pass rush, and that's going to be a problem. But the Packers are a pretty good O-line. But they don't really have the DBs. Yes, you got Warner and stuff, and that's going to sort of they got to stay committed to the run. Like, they ain't got to run crazy, but they got to stay committed to the run to show that they're willing to run. And they got enough weapons on the outside that the 49ers don't have that can cover. And I was like, and love movement in the pocket. That's what I'm going with, where I'm like, the 49ers, their stuff is rhythm. When that rhythm is off, I was like, But they also got the cast of characters too. Man, am I talking myself back into the 49ers? No. I'm sticking my Lord. Standing on business. Packers. That's how we're going to go in a high-scoring game, despite what you might think. I was like, I know it, even though I was like, maybe for them. Like, I was like, I see like a 24-21, and I was like, that's high scoring for a 49er defense, and if the Packers play as good as I think they might be able to play. Anyway, I'm going with the Packers here. All right, Buccaneers and Lions. I actually don't. I was like the Sunday slate. I actually don't know how they can. There's no real what I'm feeling convincing here. Like, I'm like, I can see the Buccaneers winning against the Lions. I can. I was like, their defense is good in a way, and they blitz in a way that I'm like, that's what Goff doesn't need. Like him having pressure, and him, to me, that's a problem. And I was like, I think they play to the problem of Goff. I think they got I think they got the line up front to stop the run. I think they got the linebackers to also stay with their running backs. Gibbs come out there, not stay, but to crush a little bit of their hopes at times. I was like, and two, when we flip it to the other side, they don't really have the same. They don't have DBs and whatnot for what they're doing or passing the ball. with Mike Evans and Goodwin, Ottman, and others there. I'm like, I don't know if they got enough. How we seen against yes, the Buccaneers are not the Rams. I was like, but that does not mean they don't have just as good or talented wide receivers. So I'm like, we already see how that get fit with the Lions. Now, the Bucs don't really run the ball well. They don't really run the ball well. So you might be able to put more of okay, hey, we're just going to contain. I was like, we're just going to bend, not break, because that's what they were really doing against the Rams, against this Buccaneers team, since they can't run the ball or whatever. And I say that'd be the one. This be the game they run the ball like crazy because they're expecting them to pass like crazy. But I do think also I was like, I think the Buccaneers get the win. I I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. It's gonna be a tough game. I don't think it's gonna be I don't think the Bucs gonna put up that many points. I don't think the Lions are gonna put that same amount of points. I just think that the Bucs, and it's not really gonna be anything. I think Mayfield does. I just think that Mayfield probably won't do anything to cost them the game. To where I think they can do something to Goff to make Goff to do that one or two turnover and mess up their season. I think the Lions are the better team. I just think it's sort of a bad matchup for the Lions, and so I'm gonna go with the Bucs there. And finally, last game, Chiefs and Bills. Once again, don't know where to go with this one. On one hand, Josh Allen is that dude, but so is Patrick Mahomes. So they sort of negate the rushing attack. Also negates. Now, Buffalo got the advantage at receiver. There are receiving options. But I was like, I know I was doing offense, now I'm doing offense versus defense. But the Chiefs got the defense to counteract a lot of that. I was like, but it's like, do they have enough for that offense? But on the flip side, the Bills, and they're being as banged up as they have, do they have enough to? I mean, do the Chiefs have enough to take advantage of the things that they don't have? Now, I will say that the line of the Bills is pretty much there, and the Chiefs' offensive line can be had, and I think the Bills do it. I think the Bills beat the Chiefs, and I'm thinking about this in real time. I was like, I just think their offense is way more dynamic than the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs' defense is good. But I think the defense for the Bills have been playing solid more so than the offense for the Chiefs had been playing good. Yeah, they had that game against the Dolphins. I was like, and yes, the Bills got injuries, but not the same way the Dolphins had injuries. So I think that their defense is a little bit stronger to stop the Chiefs. And to be honest, I was like, while Josh Allen can be Superman and whatnot, he does throw interceptions that can make the games iffy in a way that you pick the Chiefs, you really believe in Patrick Mahomes, because he doesn't give out turnovers like that. He doesn't do anything in that way to make you feel like he's going to give up the game. But he also gives you all the same feeling of Josh Allen might win this. That you say the thing with Patrick Mahomes, cause that's why we all think he's the top dude, is because of that. But I think this is Josh Allen's time to beat the Bills in the playoffs. Which was said of my favorite thing about the AFC matchup against cultures. I was like two Americas type of thing. But anyway, that's for next week. We can save that. I just wanted to get it out here early because I know there'll be people already sort of talking about it or saying something about it. So I just want to jump on the train that Lamar and Allen. Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen. There we go. I combined them. Which, if you think about it, their playing styles, you wouldn't know who Lamar Allen was. Anyway, I think Josh Allen gets it. I was like, I think this is another game that's going to be like 27-21. I think it's going to be something like that where it's so close that whoever has the ball last can get a touchdown, and that's how the game goes. Because you can see both of them with the ball at the very end of the game being like, I got to score a touchdown. and they don't get it or something. I was like, while the Chiefs defense have played really well, I was like, I just think that there's more pros to the Bills than there is for the Chiefs. But Patrick Mahomes is still a scary threat. Anyway, that's my picks for this weekend slate of NFL matchups. What do you think? Who you think gonna win? What do you think is going to happen? Are you excited? Of course you are. We're all excited. Who do you want to win? Not who you want to go to Super Bowl, just who you want to win these matchups. That's all I'm asking. Not Super Bowl. We don't get there. Who cares? We can talk about that later on. Whatever. Anyway, appreciate it till the whole thing is done. Yeah, peace.